Hey guys, it's Garth here. So I wanted to make a video because I've been doing a lot of testing lately on the rare ships because those are the easiest to reach Mastery Level 5. And the reason I'm doing this is I've noticed a lot of their skills are not activating like they're supposed to, or the description doesn't match what is going on in the battle reports, or are slightly confusing. And so it goes, all right, let's dive in, let's see what exactly it's doing, and let's create a better description. And I've been building spreadsheets for each one of these, so that way you guys can go to their ship, you can look at the skills, and you can see what does it actually do. And also, I've been adding interactions of how does that skill interact with other skills from either the Strikecraft or from the capital ship. So, today, I wanted to dive into Omnus because I've actually seen a lot of interesting interactions that happened while I was doing my testing. And so I want to jump back and forth between the spreadsheet and battle reports to show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, I have so many different battle reports in there, so I'm going to be cutting in and out as I skill the Omnus, do the battle, and then come back and cover the report, so that way I'm not wasting your guys' time. So what I'm going to do for this first run is we're going to be focusing on the double shot. We're going to be showing, does this actually prioritize long-range units like it's supposed to? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to be showing the escalation protocol, and does this max level bonus, where is it found when you do the plus 15 leadership? So if we come back out here, we can look, we see 22 leadership. So if I come back in and I go ahead and upgrade it one last time, pow, now it's max level. I come out here, now I'm at 37. That's where the 15 leadership is going to be added, not in the battle report. So with these two skills, to show you that this is activating each round and how it's activating, and if this prioritizes long range units, I'm going to run a quick challenge battle, and then I will be right back to show you guys the results. Alright guys, here we are with that battle report. So again, I'm just using the challenges. They're easy to pop in and out of, and I can help select particularly what we're looking for here. So I chose the Harbinger because long range, right? That's what we were looking for that activation. So let's dive in here into the combat logs, and let's see how is this stuff activating. So if we go into the pre-combat, we notice we're not seeing anything coming out from our Omnus. Interesting. So if I scroll down here to round 1, that's where the escalation protocol is activating. We see it's granted 6 bonus defense for each of my Strikecraft. So we're going to scroll down, see a lot of different things going on here. Now we look, boom, there it is. We've got them, 6 each at the top of the round. So that's what it does, is every single round it's just going to constantly add the bonus 6. Now sadly it's not showing us on the right side or anywhere in here, hey, this is what the starting value was, added the 6, this is what your end value is. I'm assuming that since it says that it stacks in the description, that it is properly stacking here. I have no reason to believe that it is not. So I'll scroll down here a little bit more. We have our double shot. Okay, so this is supposed to be prioritizing long-range units. The hacker, that was that long-range unit. First one, second one was chaos. There was only one long-range unit in here. So now we're going to hop back out, go to round 4, where it's supposed to activate again. Scroll down, double shot. First one, hacker, followed by chaos. So it looks like it's doing it. Round 6, activates again. We have double shot. And it looks like we hit the Naga and the Chaos. Now, out of curiosity, I am not seeing the hacker. So I'm assuming that the hacker was killed. Yep, there it is. The hacker was killed. So for round 2 and round 4, it was focusing the hacker. That was the number 1. Then it was the Naga and Naga and the Chaos. So I believe both of those are working as intended, and I don't see any reason to believe otherwise. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop out of here. We're going to go back to our Omnus. We're going to respec him. Boop. Reset. Now, I'm going to jump over here to our spreadsheet and show you what I've been crafting. So here's my spreadsheet. And along the bottom, you'll see we have different tabs. May not show it in my shot, but we have different tabs, one for each of these skills. So this is showing you what the ability is at max level, what it's saying it's supposed to do. This is what actually is going on, and then any interactions that are compounding with it. So the next one, let me see, we've got this. Just kind of a little bit of explanation when it comes to that max level bonus. It's granted outside of the combat. That's what I was showing you guys. So here for the close quarters combat, it is working as intended, only on the close range strike craft. And then as you can see, it boosts the damage of abilities as well. And then it also stacks with tough luck. So we'll get to that one in just a minute. Here we have Team Up. Team Up is pretty good because it does do Omega and Heavy Strike Craft. And it does stack with the Tough Luck and one of the other skills, which is Counterattack. We'll get to that one in a minute. So Initial Defense. This is the one that caught me off guard. And don't let all of this on here spook you at first, because there's just screenshots trying to show what's going on here. So I'm going to cover what I have in here. If there's not enough, we'll open a battle report and we'll dive in. And I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. So it states 100%, 100.5% chance to evade the first instances of damage. That's not very clear to me what exactly is going on. I would just assume my first instance of damage, each of my allies are going to evade it. No big deal. Close range units, HP +2, we all know that is absolutely meaningless. Not enough to do anything with. Well, what I ended up uncovering is that all allied strike craft gain a 100% chance to evade the first instance of damage each round. That's what I ended up finding, and it doesn't sound like that to me. The only thing I can see is right here where it says instances, but at no point is it talking about each round like it was for the Initial Defense, where it specifically said. Let's go down here. Sorry, not Initial Defense. I'm talking about Escalation Protocol, where it says stacks once per round. It doesn't say anything about per round on this Initial Defense. Now, what I ended up doing is I ended up diving in here and taking a look at what we've got happening. So we've got right here, Initial Defense is activated, granting evasion. Okay, this is round 1. Here we are seeing it again, evasion, round 2. Interesting. Right here we see that Omnus attacks Silverback, and then Silverback attacks Cyclops. It avoids it. We can tell this is a different instance because Silverback triggers selective targeting. Cyclops intercepts the attack that was going to Hacker, and he avoids all damage. So these are two different instances showing that it was definitely different rounds. Now, we go down a little bit more. We see here is something that I found that was really unique. So, Initial Defense was activated. Cyclops granted evasion. Cyclops triggered it, right? Hacker already is affected. Raven already is affected. That's because this was in round 2. So, round 1, they had received it, but they did not receive damage. Cyclops had taunted, taken the damage for them. So it's saying they're already affected, so it's not reactivating that ability. Now, why this is significant is because if we come down here, we see that the Revenant attacks Raven, and Raven takes damage. Why is that? That's because, right here, it's no longer under the effect because it considered it was already affected. It did not have it cleared from the last round, so it cannot reapply it because evasion does not stack. This is critical. This is very important to understand. So if you don't take damage, you're not going to get it reapplied, and the next round you are going to take damage on that strike craft until the following round, and it will reactivate it again because they don't have it on them. Wrote that all down here in the interactions. In battle reports, first instance of damage each allied strike craft take each round Yes, each round is evaded once this skill. Once this skill is maxed. If a strike craft was granted evasion in round 2 and never received an attack using the evasion, then the next round they will be considered already affected. That's what we were showing down there at the bottom. When they are attacked, they are not given evasion and will receive damage. This evasion does work with blind fire. I'll get to blind fire in a minute. That's the ability that you'll see right here, and it actually causes you to attack one of your own allies. This works with it. So if they have the evasion and you use blind fire and the blind fire attacks your own ally, they can evade that damage, which means you take no damage and you still are dealing the damage. These two work very well together. It's good cohesion. Max level bonus. Yes, it was confirmed. It really only grants 2 health. Looks like I wasn't able to capture. Oh, there it is right there. Captured it. Cyclops is granted HP bonus +2. Okay. Don't understand the significance of that at all. So now we're going to move to the next one, potential damage. So this one works specifically with the capital ship's normal attacks only. So every time it does a normal attack, it has a 50% chance to add 200% more damage to that attack. Basically tripling the damage of it. That's ultimately what it does. Only affects normal attacks, does not affect double shots or any of the other skills that Omnus uses. Here you can see it activating. OE attacks, potential damage, disappeared. We know that these are out of order. It should go. It attacks, launches the skill, grants this, right? This has disappeared. That's the order that it really should go. And usually we're used to seeing this top down. So it would be from the top, hey, this was activated, it granted the damage was dealt, and then it was disappeared after the damage was dealt. Hopefully that will be altered in the future, but for now, we got to kind of jump around to understand how this is activating and what's really going on here. Then we're going to jump over. Here's that blind fire I was talking about. So it deals 350% energy damage to one enemy strike craft and another 200% energy damage to an allied strike craft. So that's what it's saying. That's exactly what it's doing. And right here we can see it. Omnus attacks Silverback using blind fire, deals the damage. Here it is. Cyclops avoids the damage. Initial defense is now gone. So we know that it can evade the damage, making it a regular ability, which is very nice. This damage can be increased by close quarters combat. That was what we were seeing here, where it increases damage dealt to enemy close quarters strike craft. So all the abilities can be affected by that, including basic attacks. Now we're going to jump over here to upper hand. So this one was the first one that was showing not to be activating specifically like it's saying. So it says capital ship and allied strike craft damage plus 20%. So here's the thing. Look what it was giving me. 19.5%. I guess this is where that 5% came from for the evasion. They just robbed it from this skill. I don't know. But we're missing our 0.5% here, and over here we have that 0.5% extra chance here. Must have taken it from our upper hand because it's only giving us 19.5%. Right here's where I was explaining that. Based on this, I have no idea why it's doing that. The power is added just like the leadership. It's added on the outside of combat, so you can just see it added directly to the capital ship's stats. So if we jump over here to counterattack, here is another interesting one. So it says, when hit by enemies' standard attacks within range, perform a counterattack that deals 30% damage. So I found it does do that as it states, right? It does perform that as long as they're within range. And it's only on close range strike craft, so it only will hit enemy close range strike craft. Will not be affecting any long range unless there is no short range there. Or close range, apologize. So let's see, what exactly is this thing doing, right? I tried using Basilisk. So Basilisk has a built-in counterattack, and this is what we see. Griffin attacks Basilisk. Boom. Basilisk is granted attack. Basilisk triggered counter strike. This is important. Counter strike. Here's counter attack. So if we look up here, this is counter attack. Counter strike is the ability Basilisk has that causes it to strike back. So he activated it, and he does damage. Is granted counter attack. Okay. Basilisk triggers counterattack and immediately just goes off into something else. There's no more damage instances done. So it does not stack with other strike craft that already have a counterattack built in. So that's important when making your selection. Things like Hacker, Black Hat from Omega, so that way if you're using your team up down here that adds the extra damage to the Omega, if you're using them that already have that counterattack back, this is not going to work, because the unit Strikecraft skill is going to activate before the capital ship skill will. It's just how it's built in as it's calculating all of this, so it does not stack. Now, this skill can be modified by the team up with the Omega, like I was talking about. Black Hat has a strike back. We'll have the same issues as the counter strike on Basilisk. The skill does stack with Tough Luck, boosting damage even more. So we're about to see what Tough Luck is, because I have mentioned that a few times already. So now we've got Tough Luck. Tough Luck, it says 50% chance, on hit against enemy battle group, 50% chance to receive an additional 30% damage. So that tells me that's a debuff on the enemy, right? When that enemy takes damage, they have a chance of taking more damage. That's good, that's great. But what I found is that it's not 30%. It's actually 20%. See this right here. Omnus attacks Hound, Omnus launch double shot, hits Silverback for damage. Silverback resist damage increase 20%. These were not in any of the other reports. This only happened once I activated Tough Luck. So this must be Tough Luck. But this 20%, it's not 30. That is like something to keep in mind. It's not going to be giving you as much damage boost as you were expecting. So keep that in mind when you're doing your calculations and building your Omnus. So this skill does work with counterattack. I didn't grab a screenshot, but I can gladly pull a battle report, and I'll do that here in a moment. But it will work with counterattack and other damage skills. As we see with double shot, it worked. With Omnus attack, it worked. It doesn't matter what damage it is, as long as that enemy that has that debuff, which is the entire enemy battle group, as soon as they take damage, it flips a coin. 50% chance that you get 20% more damage, 50% chance you don't. I guess I have bad luck here. I won't go to the lottery today. Third point was does stack with team up and close quarters combat, boosting damage higher. So that is using an Omega Strikecraft, right? That will cause the team up and this 20%, so 24 plus 20% is going to be boosted onto each other. The close quarters combat increases the damage dealt by the capital ship by 35%. That does stack with the 20% from here if it activates. So this skill seems to work with several other abilities and skills to really help deal the damage. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to set up the Omnus, and I'm going to do that battle report, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with the fact that it works with the counterattacks. Alright guys, I'm back, and here it is. So in the battle report, we see the Cyclops up here was attacked, right? Silverback launches selective targeting, does all the Silverback things. Next, we have the Cyclops is granted counterattack. Here it is. There's the counterattack. Cyclops attacks Silverback, does damage right here. Suffers damage received increased plus 20%. And also to show you what it looks like in the pre-combat, right here is the Tough Luck. All it's saying is granted chance for additional incoming damage. We know it's on the enemies, and every time we've seen so far when the enemy takes damage, it basically flips the coin, and you're just hoping you got luck that day. So that's to show you guys that the counterattack does work with it. Again, I'm not going to make this too long of a video, but a lot to cover in there. I did create a Google folder that has Google Sheets inside of there that is all of the Excel information that I just showed you. I posted that onto the Discord, so you guys can go in there and you guys can look at it at any time, reference that as you're building your chips to make sure that you know how are these abilities actually working. Are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? So for now, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the battlefield.